Hi everyone, I am Divya from EC Department of Chevrolet Engineering College. Welcome to the session of linear IC applications. Today I am going to give the lecture on AC analysis of differential amplifiers. Dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier, single input balanced output differential amplifier, and single input unbalanced output differential amplifier. So these are the remaining three types of differential amplifiers we have. Already, we have already discussed about the AC analysis of first differential amplifier, that is dual input balanced output differential amplifier. So second type of differential amplifier is dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. So already we know the basic definition of dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. In this case, we are applying two inputs V1 and V2. So this type of input is called as dual input, and the output is taken at one collector with respect to ground. So this type of output is known as unbalanced output. So totally this type of configuration is known as dual input unbalanced output configuration or differential amplifier. Already we know the differential amplifier amplifies the difference of two input signals which we are applying. So this is the basic structure of basic circuit of a dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. Next, in order to perform the AC analysis, first we have to draw the AC equivalent circuit of DIUBO configuration. So what is AC equivalent circuit? So in AC equivalent circuit, we should maintain the DC sources as 0. So mainly we have two DC sources here. First one is plus VCC, another one is minus VEE. These two DC sources must be equal to 0 whenever we are going to perform some AC analysis. Just we are applying the two inputs as V1 and V2. These two inputs are AC input signals. So, by applying the AC input signals and by maintaining the DC sources as 0, we are getting some AC equivalent circuit, and as well as we should replace the transistors as T equivalent circuit. Here we have two transistors Q1 and Q2. In place of these two transistors, we should draw the T equivalent model. So this is the AC equivalent circuit of dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. In this circuit, we are maintaining the DC sources, that is plus VCC and minus VE as 0, and as well as we are replacing the transistors as T equivalent circuits or T equivalent model. So this is the first portion or first T equivalent model of the first transistor Q1. This is the T equivalent model of second transistor Q. So mainly we have for both the transistors we have the common emitter terminal or common emitter resistance RE. The RE terminal obviously connected to minus VE. Minus VE is 0, that is the RE terminal is connected to ground. So first this is the first transistor T equivalent model. For the first transistor, here this is the collector terminal, this is the base terminal, this is the emitter terminal. For the collector terminal, we have only one component RC, and the current flowing through this terminal is IC1. So RC terminal is connected to plus VCC. Plus VCC is equal to 0. So that's why this terminal is connected to ground. And next RC is obviously connected to base terminal because this is the T equivalent circuit or model. This is the base terminal V1. So for the base terminal we have two components. One is the input source V in 1, another one is R in 1. And next we have the emitter terminal. The current through this terminal is IB1. And next we have the emitter terminal. And emitter terminal, for the emitter terminal we have external emitter resistance as RE, capital RE. And in this case we are also considering the internal emitter resistance as small RE. The current flowing through this terminal is known as IE1. So this is the first T equivalent circuit or model of a first transistor. Similarly, To draw the second T equivalent model, just we are taking the three terminals of transistor. For the second transistor, this is the collector terminal, and we have the resistance RC for the collector terminal, and the current flowing through this terminal is known as IC2, which is flowing from ground to the collector terminal. The direction is upward direction. And next, this is the base terminal. For the base terminal, we have two components, R into and V into. So the current flowing through this terminal is known as IB2. And for the emitter terminal, we have the resistance capital RE. Capital RE is common for both the transistors. The current flowing through this terminal is known as IE2. We are also considering the internal resistance of emitter, small RE here. So at the emitter, we have mainly two components, small RE and capital RE. This is the second transistor T equivalent. So totally, the AC equivalent circuit of dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier is shown in the figure. In this case, we are applying two inputs, Vin1 and Vin2. And next, we are taking the output at one collector with respect to ground. This is the V0 point, and we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground. So that's why this type of output is known as unbalanced output. In order to obtain the voltage gain, or in order to perform the AC analysis, we are taking the two loops as this is the first loop and this is the second loop. This is the first loop and this is the second loop. So apply KVL for the first loop as well as for the second loop. If you apply the KVL for the first loop, mainly what is KVL? KVL is nothing but the sum of the voltages in a closed loop is equal to 0. So here we have mainly four voltage drops totally. First one is the voltage drop V in 1. Second one is the voltage drop across the resistance R in 1. Third one is the voltage drop across small re. And fourth one is the voltage drop across capital R. So mainly if you apply the KVL, then the equation becomes V in 1 minus R in 1 into the current flowing through this resistance is IB1. So IB1 into R in 1 minus small re into IE1. The current flowing through this terminal is IE1 and minus capital RE into, here we have two currents IE1 and IE2 which are flowing in the same direction. So that's why capital RE into IE1 plus IE2. So totally, if you apply the KVL, then we can get the equation as V in 1 minus R in 1 into IB1 minus small re into IE1 minus capital RE into IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. Consider that one as first equation. Similarly, apply KVL for the second loop. So from this point, this is the starting point. Here also we have four voltage drops. The voltage drop at this point is V into the voltage drop across the resistance R into is another voltage drop. Next third voltage drop is the voltage drop across the resistance small re. Here we have another voltage drop, that is the drop across the resistance capital R. So if you apply the KVL for this loop, then we can get V equation as V into minus IB2 into R into minus small re into IE2 minus capital RE into IE2 plus IE1 is equal to 0. So totally we can get the equation as V into minus R into IB2 minus small re into IE2 minus capital RE into IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. Consider this one as second equation. So here we have IE1. Here we have to find out the IE1 and IE2 currents. Similarly, same for the DI/VO operation, which we have already discussed. Just to simply substitute in place of IB1. We know the equation IB1 is equal to IE1 by beta and IB2 is equal to IE2 by beta. Just substitute those values in these two equations. Then all the equation becomes in terms of IE1 and IE2. And we know R in 1 by beta is very much less than, that means R in 1 is very much low value. beta is very high value, then Rn1 by beta will get a small value. Next, Rn2 by beta is also very low value. So that's why these two terms will be negligible. And if you simplify the equations, then we can get the equations as ax1 plus a1x or a1x plus b1y plus is equal to c1, and a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. And by using those two equations, we can, if you apply the Cramer's rule, then we can get the currents as IE1 and IE2. These equations already derived from the previous class, already derived in the previous class, that is in the DIBO configuration. In DIBO configuration also, we are getting the equations as like the equations which we have get here. So just simply go through that equations, then we can get the equations of IE1 and IE2 as IE1 is equal to RE plus capital RE into V1 minus capital RE into V2 by RE plus capital RE whole square minus capital RE square, and IE2 is equal to small RE plus capital RE into V2 minus capital RE into V1 by small RE plus capital RE whole square minus capital RE square. So these are the currents which we have obtained by using the equations 1 and 2. Just we are applying the Cramer's rule. When we are applying some Cramer's rule, then we can get the variables as IE1 and IE2. Then we can get the final equations as like this. And by using these two equations, we can get some differential gain AD. And finally, the output voltage V0 is equal to, already this is the unbalanced output, and we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground, and that's why the output voltage V0 is equal to just V0 is equal to Vc. That means the voltage across the collector C2 only. So what is the voltage across the C2? At the C2 terminal, we have only the resistance RC and the current flowing through upward direction, that is in the opposite direction. So that's why the voltage drop at this terminal, the voltage drop at this point is equal to minus RC into IC. So minus RC into IC2. We know IC2 is approximately equal to IE2. Then we can get the equation as minus RC into IE2. Substitute the value of IE2 from equation. Already we have IE2. IE2 is equal to small re plus capital R into V into minus capital R into V1 by small re plus capital R whole square minus RE square. So substitute this equation in this V0 value, then we can get the equation as V0 is equal to minus RC into RE plus capital RE V into minus capital RE V1 by RE plus RE whole square minus capital RE square. So that is capital RC into, if you simplify the just minus will become, if then if you multiply the minus, then we can get the equation as capital RE into V1 minus small re plus capital RE into V2 by RE plus RE whole square plus RE minus RE square. So generally capital RE is very much greater than small re, then RE plus RE is approximately equal to capital RE, as well as RE plus 2RE is approximately equal to 2RE. So RC into RE into V1, RE plus capital RE is approximately equal to RE, capital RE. So minus capital RE into V into by, if you, that means if RE plus RE whole square, if you expand this this term, then we can get the total value as small re square plus capital RE square plus 2 into small re into capital R. So capital RE square minus capital RE square will be cancelled out. Then we can get the term as small re square plus 2 into small re into capital R. If you common the small re in both two terms, then we can get the term as 2 into small re into capital R. 2 into, that means small re into RE plus 2RE. RE plus 2RE is approximately equal to 2RE. Then we can get the equation as 2 into small re into capital R. So this is also discussed in the previous session. Just I am explaining. So Finally, V naught is equal to capital RC into small re into V1 minus V2 by 2 into small re into capital R. Capital RE will be cancelled out, then we can get the equation as capital RC into V1 minus V2 by 2 RE. So this is the output voltage. Finally, the differential gain AD is equal to the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage. So V naught is the output voltage, VID is the difference input voltage. That is the difference of two input signals. Already we know the differential amplifier consists of two inputs. So the total input is V in 1 minus V in 2, that is the differential voltage. If you substitute V in 1 minus V in 2 in place of VID, then if you substitute in place of V naught, RC into V in 1 minus V in 2 by 2 RE, then V in 1 minus V in 2 will be cancelled out. Then we can get the equation as RC by 2 into small re. This is the differential voltage gain of a dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. And next, second parameter is input resistance. So what is the input resistance? So already input resistance is same for dual input balanced configuration as well as dual input unbalanced configuration. So what is the input resistance for the dual input balanced output configuration, or what is the definition for the input resistance of a differential amplifier? Means this is the equivalent resistance that could be measured at either of the input terminal by maintaining the other input source as zero. That means if you want to find out the input resistance at the first transistor, just we are maintaining the other input source as zero, that is V into as zero. Similarly, if you want to find out the other input resistance, that is the input resistance of transistor Q2, then we are simply making the input voltage of first transistor as zero, that is V in 1 as zero. So by maintaining V into as zero, and if you calculate the input resistance RI1, that is the ratio of input voltage to the input current, that is V in 1 by IB1. And if you substitute in place of IB1 as IE1 by beta, and already we know the value of IE1, and then simply we substitute the value of IE1. And if you calculate the final value of RI1, then we can get simply as 2 into beta AC into RE. In a similar manner, RI2 is equal to beta AC RE. So these are the two input resistances which we have for the dual input unbalanced output configuration. The method is same for both the configurations. Just to go through the dual input balanced output configurations input resistance. Next, output resistance. Output resistance is nothing but this is also the equivalent resistance that could be measured at the output with respect to ground. So in the balanced configuration or in the balanced output, we have two output voltages. That means the output voltage at the collector C1, the output voltage at the collector C2. Then we have two output resistances RO2 and RO1, that is equal to RC. That means with respect to ground, only we have the resistance of RC. And in this case, we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground. So that's why we have only one resistance, that is equal to RC. In this case also, the resistance which we have is RC with respect to ground. That means at the collector, we have only one resistance with respect to ground, that is RC. So totally we have only one output resistance for the unbalanced configuration, that is equal to R0 is equal to RC. So this is the dual input unbalanced output configuration voltage gain, input resistance and output resistance. And third one is single input balanced output differential amplifier. This is third configuration of a differential amplifier. As we know, the single input balanced output configuration consists of only a single input and the other input must be grounded. That means other input should be zero. So if you observe the figure, just we are applying the input as V1 to the base of first transistor and we are maintaining the other input as zero. That means other input, other base terminal is connected to ground. And balanced output means we are taking the output between two collectors. So here this is the output section. We are taking the output between two collectors here. So this type of configuration is known as single input balanced output configuration. In this configuration, we are only applying the single input and we are taking the output between two collectors. And in this case also we are performing some AC analysis. This is the AC equivalent circuit of single input balanced output differential amplifier. In order to draw the AC equivalent circuit, rules are same. That means the DC sources, that is plus VCC and minus VE, should be 0. And draw the T equivalent model in place of transistors. In this case also we have two transistors. So just we have to draw the T equivalent circuit for both the transistors. So observe here, this is the T equivalent model, T equivalent circuit. In this case only we are applying VN1. Only one input signal is applied to the first transistor, that is the base of first transistor. Next, we are taking the output between two collectors. This is C1, this is C2, and we are taking the output between these two collectors. And this is the T equivalent model for the first transistor. This is the T equivalent model for the second transistor. For the second transistor, we are not applying any input, so that's why the base is just simply connected to ground. So for the first transistor, mainly we have three terminals: base, collector, and emitter. At the collector, we have a resistance RC. The current flowing through this resistance is equal to IC1, and we have the base terminal. At the base terminal, we have two components, that is Rn1 and Vn1. The current flowing in the base terminal is known as Ib1, and we have some internal resistance of emitter, that is taken as small Re, and external resistance is taken as capital Re, and the current flowing through this emitter terminal is Ie1. So this is the first transistor T equivalent model. And this is the second transistor T equivalent model. For the second transistor, the base is simply connected to ground and we are not applying any input. That is B2 is just simply connected to ground. And next we have the collector. For the collector, we have a component called RC, and the current flowing through this resistance is known as IC2. The current flowing direction is from collector to ground, because here we are applying VN1, only a single input that is flowing from this point to this point. So the current flowing at this resistance RC is from collector to ground. And next, for the emitter, we have small internal resistance at the emitter, that is small Re, and external resistance as capital Re. The current flowing through this resistance is known as capital IE. So mainly small Re, from this figure, at this place we have small IE1 current, and for this resistance we have small IE2 current. If you take the currents as direct in direct manner, or we can also take the current as IE, it will be represented later. That is, here we have two currents. That means through the resistance Re we have two currents. One is IE1, another one is IE2. So IE1 is the current which is flowing from VN1 to ground, and IE2 is also the current which is flowing from VN1 but starting from this point to the base of second transistor. So totally the IE current is equal to the total current of IE1 minus IE2, because at the resistance Re we have two currents. One is IE1 which is flowing in this direction, and we have also another current which is flowing in this direction. So IE1 flowing from VN1 to Re, starting from this point to this point, and similarly IE2 flowing starting from VN1 to this point. So totally total IE current is represented as we have two currents IE1 and IE2 but flows in opposite directions. So IE is equal to IE1 minus IE2. So next apply KVL for the first loop and second loop. Here we have first loop and here we have second loop. So if you apply the KVL for the first loop, then we can get the equation as V in 1. Here also we have 4 voltage drops. V in 1 minus IB1 into R in 1 minus small r e into I1 minus capital R E into I is equal to 0. This is the first loop KVL equation. And next, in place of I, we can also substitute IE1 minus IE2. Next, apply KVL for the second loop also, starting from this point. So that is V in 1 minus R in 1 into IB1 minus small re into IE1 minus small re into IE2. The current flowing through this resistance is IE2 is equal to 0. So starting from this point to this point, this is the second loop. So these are the two equations which we have from loops of first and second. So substitute in place of IB1, we can also substitute IE1 by beta AC. In place of IB2, we can substitute IE2 by beta AC. And IE is equal to IE1 by IE1 minus IE2. Then the equation becomes V in 1 minus R in into IE1 by beta AC minus small re into IE1 minus capital RE into IE1 minus IE2 is equal to 0. Just we are substituting these equations in the above two equations. Then we can get second equation as V in minus R in into IE1 by beta AC minus small re into IE1 minus small re into IE2 is equal to 0. And here Rn by beta AC is a very small value because Rn is the internal resistance, beta AC is the large value. Then we can get the term as a very low value. Just we are neglecting the term. Then we can get the equation as V in minus small re into I1 minus capital Re into I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. And from this equation, we can get V in minus small re into I1 minus small re into I2 is equal to 0. So we are separating the IE1 and IE2 currents. So we have IE1 we have two terms of IE1 here. Just common IE1 from this, then we can get the equation as IE1 into small re plus capital RE minus capital RE into IE2 is equal to Vn. Just we are moving these two terms to RHS side, then we can get the equation as like this. Simply in this case also we are getting the equation as IE1 into RE plus IE2 into RE is equal to Vn. So here we have two equations and these two equations is in the form of a1x plus b1y is equal to c1, a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. A1 is the x, here x is IE1, y is IE2. X is IE1, y is IE2. So A1 is RE plus capital RE, B1 is minus RE, C1 is Vn. Similarly, A to X. Here X means IE1, A2 means RE. X coefficient becomes A2. So A2 is RE and Y is IE2 and Y coefficient becomes B2, that is small re is equal to C2, that is V. So this equation is in the form of A1x plus B1y is equal to C1 and this is in the form of A2x, this is x and this is A2, A2x plus B2y is equal to C2. So apply Cramer's rule to both the equations, then we can get the equation as first quotient, that is x quotient, that is IE1 is equal to det of C1 C2 B1 B2, det of C1 C2 B1 B2. Here we have C1, C2 as Vn, Vn because only we are applying a single input that is known as Vn. So C1, C2, V1, V2. That is Vn, Vn. V1 means minus Re, that is Y quotient. And next Re, small re. And next by that of A1, A2, B1, B2. A1, A2, B1, B2. A1 is the X quotient, A2 is also X quotient. That is, this is first equation, this is second equation. So A1 is small re plus capital Re, A2 is small re, and B1 is minus re, B2 is small r. So this is the equation which we have get whenever applying some Cramer's rule. Similarly, we can also apply Cramer's rule in order to find out the another variable that is y, that is IE2. So in this case, IE2 is equal to that of A1, A2, C1, C2. A1, A2, C1, C2. A1, A2 is Re plus Re, Re, small re. C1, C2 is V1, Vn, Vn. So Vn, Vn. A1, A2, C1, C2. By that of same. Denominator is same. That is A1, A2, B1, B. A1 is Re plus Re. A2 is small re. And B1 is minus Re. B2 is small re. So these are the two equations which we have, IE1 and IE2. Just simplify these two equations, then we can get the IE1 equation as apply that here. Then V in Re minus of minus, that is plus V in into R. V in Re plus V in into R. And similarly apply that to the denominator also. Then small re into small re plus capital Re minus small re into minus r, that is plus small re into capital R. Re into Re plus Re minus of minus small re into capital R. Then we can get Re into Re plus capital Re plus small re into capital R. So this is the equation of IE1. Similarly for IE2. IE2 is equal to apply that here. So small re plus capital Re into V minus small re into V. Small re plus capital Re into V minus small re into V. And for the denominator, small re into small re plus capital Re minus of minus becomes plus. So plus small re into capital R. So Re into Re plus capital Re plus small re into capital R. So after finding the values of IE1 and IE2, just we are finding the output voltage. So what is the output voltage? Here also we are taking the balanced output, because balanced output means we are taking the output between two collectors. So the difference of those two collector voltages, that is VC2 minus VC1. So what is VC2? VC2 is the voltage drop across the collector C2. So from the figure, the voltage drop across the resistance RC is the current flowing through this terminal is IC2, the resistance is RC. Totally the voltage drop is RC into IC2. The current direction is downward direction, so no problem, we have plus sign. So RC into IC2. So VC2 is equal to RC into IC2 minus, what is VC1? So VC1 is the voltage drop across the collector terminal C1. So here this is the collector terminal C1, and the voltage drop across this point is the voltage, the current flowing through this terminal is IC1 and the resistance is RC, and totally the drop is IC1 into RC, and the current is upward direction, that is in the reverse direction. So then we can get some minus value. So that is VC1 is equal to minus RC into IC. So minus RC into IC1. So minus and minus becomes plus. If we common RC from these two terms, then we can get the equation as capital RC into IC2 plus IC1. Capital RC into IC is approximately IE, so IE2 plus IE1. And finally, V0 is equal to capital RC into what is IE2? We have already equations of IE2 and IE1. Just substitute those two equations. Then we can get the equation as V0 as shown in the figure. Next, V0 is equal to capital RC into, if you simplify the equation, the above equation. So at the denominator we have the same value. So take an LCM. So LCM in the denominator, so that is LCM is small re into small re plus 2 into capital Re into Vn. Into Vn is that means here this is the denominator term. This is the denominator term. Small re into small re plus 2 into capital Re. And at the numerator we have, if you simplify the equation, then we can get small re plus 2 into capital R. Small re plus 2 into capital Re, and Vn is common at the numerator. So that is capital Rc by Re into Vn, because Re plus 2 Re plus 2 Re will be cancelled out. Then Rc by Re into Vn. From this equation, V naught by Vn is equal to Rc by Re. V naught by Vn is nothing but differential voltage. Here we are applying only a single voltage, so that is difference voltage is equal to Vn. So that is V naught by Vn is the differential gain. AD is equal to Rc by Re. This is the differential gain of single input balanced output configuration. Next, input resistance. So input resistance is the equivalent resistance that would be measured at either of the input terminal by maintaining the other source to 0. And single input means we are applying only a single input. That means the other input terminal must be grounded to ground, must be connected to ground. That means we have only a single input resistance, that is equal to Ra. Ra is equal to, already we know the input resistance. The procedure is same for all the cases. So Ra is equal to 2 beta AC into Ra. That means Ra is equal to the ratio of input voltage to the input current, that is V in by IB, by maintaining the other, that means obviously the other source is 0. So V in by IB, in place of IB, we are substituting IE by beta. We know the value of IE, so just substitute IE value. Then we can get the equation as 2 into beta AC into R. R is equal to 2 beta AC R. And finally, the output resistance is, here we are using the balanced output. That means balanced output means we are taking the output at between two collectors. So between two collectors means we have two output resistances at two collectors. So that is RO1 is equal to RO2 is equal to RC. RO1 is the output resistance of first transistor. RO2 is the output resistance of second transistor with respect to ground. So at the collector terminal, we have only one resistance with respect to ground. So that is the output resistance of first and second transistors. And third, last configuration is, that is the fourth configuration, single input unbalanced output differential amplifier. And single input unbalanced output differential amplifier means, as we know, in single input means we are applying only a single input. Unbalanced output means we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground. And if you observe the figure, we are applying a single input to the base of first transistor, and we are maintaining the other input as 0 by connecting the base terminal to ground, and we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground. So this is the single input unbalanced output differential amplifier configuration. And in this case also, in order to perform the AC analysis, we should draw the AC equivalent circuit. And we have the rules for the AC equivalent circuit. We should maintain the DC sources as 0, that is VCC, and minus VE as 0. And we are replacing the transistors as T equivalent circuits. Then we can get the circuit as like this. So here, this is the T equivalent model for the first transistor. This is the T equivalent model for the second transistor. And for the first transistor, we have three terminals: base, collector, and emitter. At the collector, we have only a resistance RC. The current flowing through this resistance is known as IC1. And next, for the base terminal, we have two components, that is R-in1 and V-in1. The current flowing through this terminal is known as IB1. And we have some internal resistance, small RE. So here that is skipped off. So at the emitter, we have small RE. That is the internal resistance, and the external resistance of the emitter is known as capital RE. This is the T equivalent model of first transistor. And next, this is the T equivalent model for the second transistor. In this case also we have three terminals: collector, base, and the emitter. At the collector we have a resistance RC. The current flowing through this resistance is IC2. And next we have the base, and the base is simply connected to ground. And next at the emitter we have small internal resistance small Re and external resistance capital Re. This resistance is common for both the transistors. And here we are applying a single input V in one, and next we are taking the output at only one collector with respect to ground. This is V0. So this one is called unbalanced output, and this is single input. And in order to get the differential gain, just apply KVL for these two loops. Consider this one is first loop, this one is second loop. This one is first loop, this one is second loop. And apply KVL for the first loop. If you apply the KVL for the first loop, here we have 4 voltage drops. That is total voltage, sum of the voltages is equal to 0. So that is Vn minus, that is Vn1 is obviously equal to Vn. We have only one voltage. So minus Rin1 or Rin into Ib1 minus small re into IE1. The current flowing through this emitter resistance is IE1, small re into IE1 minus capital Re into IE1 minus IE2. Here we have two currents which is flowing, first current IE1 which is flowing in this direction, second current IE2 which is flowing in the opposite direction. So that's why we have two currents here which are flowing in opposite directions. So that's why total current in this resistance is IE1 minus IE2. And similarly apply KVL for the second loop also. Starting from this point, V in 1 minus R in 1 into IB1 minus small Re into IE1 minus small Re into IE2. The current flowing through this resistance is IE2 is equal to 0. So this is the equations which we can get by applying some KVL to first and second loops. So for the first loop we have V in 1 minus V in 1 or V in. V in 1 minus R in 1 minus R in 1 into IB1 minus small re into IE1 minus capital Re into IE is equal to 0. Capital IE is equal to 0. Similarly, V into minus R in 1 I into IB1 minus small re into IE1 minus small re into IE2 is equal to 0. And we know the values of IB1 is equal to IE1 by beta AC, IB2 is equal to IE2 by beta AC, and capital IE is equal to IE1 minus IE. That means the current which is flowing through the resistance of capital Re, and we have two currents in the circuit which are flowing in opposite directions. So that is totally the current IE is equal to IE1 minus IE2. Then if you substitute these values in the above equations, then we can get the equation as V in or V in 1, R in 1 or R in. So that is V in minus RA into IB1 is equal to IE1 by beta AC minus small re into IE1 minus capital Re into what is IE? IE is equal to IE1 minus IE2 is equal to 0. And similarly, V in 1 or V in minus R in 1 or R in into IB1 is IE1 by beta AC minus small re into IE1 minus small re into IE2 is equal to 0. And already we know Rn by beta AC is a very small value, so that's why we should neglect these two values from the two equations. Then we can get the equations as V in minus small re into IE1 minus capital Re into IE1 minus IE2 is equal to 0, and V in minus small re into IE1 minus small re into IE2 is equal to 0. So just we are separating the IE1 and IE2 terms, then we can get the equation. If you simplify the equation, then we can get IE1 into small re into small re plus capital Re minus capital Re into IE2 is equal to Vn. And similarly, we can get the equation as IE1 into Re plus IE2 into Re is equal to Vn. So here we have two equations, that is these two equations are in the form of A1 x plus B1 y is equal to C1, A2 x plus B2 y is equal to C2, where A1 is the x quotient, A2 is y quotient, A1 is x quotient, B1 is y quotient, A2 is x quotient, B2 is y quotient. So where x is IE1, y is IE2, x is IE1, x is IE1, y is IE2. So apply Cramer's rule, then we can get the equation, or we can get that IE1 and IE2 values as IE1 is equal to that of C1, C2, B1, B2. So C1, C2 is Vn1, Vn, Vn. So Vn, Vn. And V1, V2 is Y quotient. That is minus Re small r. Minus Re small r by that of A1, A2, B1, B2. A1, A2, B1, B2. So A1 is X quotient, that is Re plus capital Re. A2 is also X quotient, that is small r. A1, A2, that is small re plus capital Re, small re. B1, B2, that is minus capital Re, small re. So this is IE1 value. Similarly, IE2 is equal to that of A1, A2, C1, C2. A1, A2, C1, C2. So here A1 is Re plus Re, A2 is Re, C1 is Vn, C2 is Vn. Similarly, by that of A1, A2, B1, B2, denominator is same. So A1 is Re plus Re, A2 is small re, B1 is minus re, B2 is small r. So this is the IE2 value. If you apply the that here, then Vn into Re minus of minus plus Vn into capital R by small re into small re plus capital Re minus of minus plus small re into capital R. This is the IE1 value. Similarly, IE2 is equal to Re plus capital Re into Vn minus Vn into Re by small re into small re plus capital Re minus of minus plus small re into capital R. So these are the two equations which we have by applying the Cramer's rule. Then the total output voltage V0 is equal to Vc2. So our Vc2 is equal to the voltage across the collector resistance, the voltage across the collector C2. So from the figure, here we are taking the output because this is unbalanced output. The voltage at this point is the voltage of across the resistance RC, that is IC2 into RC. The current flowing from collector to the ground terminal, so downward direction. So that's why V0 is equal to RC into IC2. What is IC2? IC is approximately equal to IE, so that's why RC into IE2. Already we know the value of IE2, just we are simply substitute that value, then we can get the equation as V0 is equal to capital RC into Vn into Re plus capital Re minus Vn Re by small re into small re plus capital Re plus small re into capital R. Then we can get the equation V0 is equal to capital RC into capital R. If you simplify the equation, for the numerator we can get capital Re into Vn. For the denominator we have small re into small re plus 2 into capital R. Already we know 2 in Re plus 2 into capital Re becomes equal to 2 Re. So Re plus 2 Re becomes 2 into capital Re. Capital R will be cancelled. Then we can get small capital RC into Vn by 2R. Then we can get V0 by Vn is equal to capital RC by 2R. This is the voltage. V0 by Vn is nothing but differential gain. That is the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage, because here we are applying a single input. So that's why the input will also be equal to Vn only. So differential gain AD is equal to RC by 2R for the single input unbalanced output configuration. And next, input and output resistances. So this is the input resistance. Ri is equal to 2 beta AC Re. Input resistance is the equivalent resistance that would be measured at either of the input terminal by maintaining the other source as 0. Here we are applying a single input, so that's why we have only a single input resistance Ri. Ri is equal to 2 beta AC Re. So process is same for all the configurations and calculation is also same. And the output resistance is the equivalent resistance that could be measured at either of the output terminal by with respect to ground. And here we are taking the output at only one collector because this is unbalanced output. So the output, here we have only one output resistance. So R naught is equal to RC. At the collector we have only one resistance with respect to ground, that is equal to RC only. So this is the input resistance of single input unbalanced output configuration, that is Ri is equal to 2 beta AC Re, and this is the output resistance for the single input unbalanced output configuration, that is R naught is equal to RC. So thank you.